up, people? Rasati out here in Singapore, and I'm so grateful to be here on the Night Owl podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. And for those of you who've been there from the beginning, oh my gosh, you guys rock. I really, really appreciate the support and the feedback and the conversations. It's been a wild ride, but I am enjoying every minute of it. So today I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about the fact that I have been talking to a lot of people who feel like they're disappointing people on a daily basis. And I know what that feels like. It's a crappy feeling. You feel like, nothing works, and it's very easy for you to turn on yourself and talk to yourself in a manner that it's almost like degrading yourself, right? You're not worth it, you're not enough, you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you don't have this skill, you're not, good with time, you're not good with money. I'm just screwing up everywhere, and I get it. I've done that too. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I still do that sometimes when I disappoint people. But I want to talk to you about the fact that disappointing people, what does that mean? Let's define that for a second, shall we? Disappointing people means they have a specific expectation of you, and you're not meeting that expectation. But what if you could manage the expectation, meaning to say that if they expect you to dress a certain way and to behave a certain way when you're in a public function, then if you don't agree with the way that they want you to dress, the best thing you can do is manage your expectations by saying, hey, you know what? I understand that this is what you want from me, but I'm going to tell you that I don't feel comfortable there. I would rather dress like this instead. Then at least they know what to expect. They don't wait till you turn up in something completely different from what they expected, and then they're upset with you, right? And then, of course, you get the guilting and the shaming and the telling off every chance they get because they're not going to let this go with the one criticism. So, for example, I have been sexually abused in my past. And this is a person that I know very well that I have to run into every so often. And when I do, it is the expectation of my family that I treat them with love and respect and kindness because the person is older than me. It's an older relative, right? And I'm supposed to show up in their face and tell them I love them and give them hugs and kisses and stuff like that. And that's just not going to happen. I don't understand what world an abuser and a victim have to be in the same room together where the victim has to shower love and praise on the abuser and pretend like nothing ever happened. So, all of that aside, what I realized was the abuser's expectation of me was that I was going to sweep it under the rug and pretend nothing happened, which means I'm going to treat them like I love them, like I did before they did what they did, right? I'll get into that in another time, but I was going to pretend like everything was fine, that this was, a loved and respected member of my family, and that I was going to hug and kiss them like I would any one of my other, elder male relatives. The other expectation I had to manage was the expectation of my mother. My mother wanted for us to all be one happy family. She doesn't want any strife or complications anywhere. She doesn't like, confrontation. So her idea was, no, just forget about it. They're not gonna admit what they did. They're not gonna apologize for it. Just keep on going. Stop living in the past is what she was telling me, right? So one day, everything came to a head. And I had to go and manage the expectation because here's what was happening otherwise. Every time this person came into town, I was finding any and every excuse to pretend I was asleep, pretend I was dying, pretend I was anywhere but in the house where I had to be stuck with him, right? And so it was causing me stress. And it was causing my mother stress because she's now worried that if I'm caught in the same room with this person, and if I'm in a mood because I'm not about to let this go, I'm living in the past, that I was going to start World War III somehow. So she was always on pins and needles when the two of us were in the room together. And so she was very, very nervous. So the first thing I had to do was manage my mother's expectations. I told her flat out, finally, because I was tired of doing this, because I can't even mention this person's name without her getting all flustered and worried. I sat her down and I said, look, Ma, I don't feel comfortable around this person. I don't want to say something that I don't mean. I don't want to tell anybody I love them if I don't mean it. Because that complicates my integrity. It really does upset me to no end. And I feel like I'm being very, very fake. And I don't want to be fake. I don't want to live a life where I have to be fake in front of certain people. If I have to be, a smaller version of myself to get along, I don't want those people in my life. And if this is not one of those people that I can just easily get rid of, then I need to let them know what's going to happen. So I told my mother, look, I'm going to have a conversation with him. And I'm going to sit him down. I'm going to tell him, look, I don't want to tell you I love you because it's fake. It's not real. I don't want to give you a hug because I'm uncomfortable. So I need to let him know that this is no longer going to happen. So no matter how much these people complain about, oh, she treats me differently or whatever, right? They need to understand why. They don't have to apologize to me. They don't have to accept what they did. I don't care. I'm past needing an apology at this point. But what they will not do is shame me into behaving in such a way that negates my entire experience. So once I managed her understanding of the situation, what was going to happen going forward, I kind of felt a little bit better. And I kind of felt like, okay, one less person I need to pretend in front of, and I don't have to have this conversation ever again, I hope, right? And then I had to go sit down with him. And for that, I needed backup. I brought my brother in. And I sat down and I talked to him and I said, look, I don't care if you understand what you did. I don't care if you think that I made it all up in my head. I don't care if you think I'm trying to break this family apart. I'm not. I'm not trying to cause any trouble, but I will not sit here and pretend like I care about you. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like every time you come into town, oh my God, it's so great to see you. No, none of that. I'm not. But I will not also run away and hide. I will not also pretend like I'm coming down with some kind of flu fever thing that I can't be in your presence, because I want to be myself in all situations. So here's the plan. If I can be nice and civil and courteous to people on the street that I have no connection to, I can certainly do that with you. But I will not show you affection. I will not show you any love. There will no be familial anything between us. And I hope you understand that. Now, of course, there was a big hoo-ha and there was knock down, drag out and all that stuff. But push come to shove, this person will no longer expect any of those things from me. This person will no longer feel disappointed or feel the need to shame me because I didn't do what they wanted me to do, because I told them flat out, I'm not doing it. It took me 30 years to have that conversation. But once I did, a part of me released, and I was able to feel less stress in my soul. And I felt like I could move about my house a little more freely, whether this person was there or not. Now, I don't know what you may be facing. I don't know if it's as dire as, facing an abuser, or if it's as simple as facing your mom again and telling them, look, I don't like doing this, so I'm not going to do it. Whatever the case may be, for you not to feel enough, for you to start chastising yourself, for you to start putting yourself down because you did not meet someone else's expectation, that needs to stop. Because their expectation is based on their understanding of what you're capable of. And your expectation of what you can and cannot do should be that you have the space and the freedom to be yourself in every given situation. So if you ever feel like you're disappointing somebody, right? It could be something as simple as, oh my gosh, my friend said, hey, you know what, we're going out to eat, you should come join us. And they say, can you be here by 7? And you feel obligated to say, yes, I can be there by 7, but you know damn well with traffic and everything, you're not going to make it. And then every time you show up late, they get mad at you. They feel disappointed in you. And then you suddenly feel like crap because I promised I'd be here and then I wasn't. And then this does not reflect very well on me. The easiest thing to do would be to manage your expectations and say, hey, you know what? I want to join you guys. That's cool. But here I'm in this corner of Singapore and I need this amount of time to get there. So I'll probably be here at this time instead. There's nothing wrong with saying no. It's even better if you can offer an alternate option, right? But letting them know you're going to be late means they already expect you to be late. That gives you the space to breathe and get there safely without rushing, without running in the street, without driving like a maniac or whatever that could put your life in harm's way. These little things people don't teach, and I wish they would. Because they make a world of difference in how settled your spirit feels, in how comfortable you are in your life. You need people around you that are okay with you saying no. You need people around you that are ready to help if you were ever to muster up the courage and ask for help. This is the kind of life you deserve. And you not meeting someone else's expectations is not a reflection on you unless you're not managing the expectation. I don't know about you, I hate bill collectors. Have you ever had somebody call you about bills? And you say, you know what, I can pay the bill, but only on this date. But you feel stupid for having to ask for an extension or to reduce the amount that you could pay. But guess what? If you can't do it, you can't do it. So which is worse? To promise that you can pay the moon and the stars and not have the moon and the stars to pay when the time comes? Or to tell them, hey, you know what, I'm going through a rough patch. I'm having a really difficult time. I can pay this amount right now. And I will slowly continue paying it back. But if you're okay with me doing this much right now, then I'm not stretching myself so thin, right? I'm not reduced to desperate measures to pay for whatever it is that, the bill is or whatever. And you feel a sense of integrity. You are keeping your word. You're doing what you said you would. It's not quite the way that it could have been, but now it's different. So see how different your life could be when you manage people's expectations, and you don't have the need to beat yourself up after that. You can actually push back when people want to, guilt you or shame you, because you can't control what they want to do, but you can definitely control how you feel about it. And it opens up a lot of space for you to be more of yourself. So please, when you find yourself in a situation that you feel kind of crappy for not doing what you said you were going to do, or not meeting, someone at a specific place by a specific time because you promised, or not being able to help the way you wanted to help because something came up and you weren't able to make it out the door to help these people, where you had to cancel plans. I don't want you beating yourself up for those things. They are part and parcel of life. It happens. But as long as you can, as long as you know information that could help the situation and you manage the expectations that are involved, there's less that you can be chastised for. There's less that you can be held accountable for. And honestly, wouldn't it be nice to be less stressed? So consider what I've said. Let me know what you think about managing expectations, because seriously, that is fundamental in my life. And I've been teaching everybody that I can get in front of me to please manage your expectations. I may not know what's going on in your life, which means I may judge you if you don't show up in a certain place or at a specific time. But if you were to let me know what's going on along the way, I'm not going to be upset. I know what to expect then. If you're not able to make it to work on time, don't call me 5 minutes before your shift. Call me the minute you know you're going to be late or you're not going to be able to make it at all. Let me know what's going on. Give me a little bit of context so I understand, hey, okay, she's going through something difficult. She's having to manage her mom, or there was a disaster at home all of a sudden. Seriously, I was supposed to go to a friend of mine's perfume launch, and suddenly, earlier that day, I was not able to make it. Why? Because my oven broke. And it's not that it stopped working. It started smoking throughout the house. So I had to figure out, oh my God, where's the fire, because there's smoke coming out. And I was really panicking. And at that point, I was not in the frame of mind to be able to go out and celebrate anyone or anything. I had to settle my house first. So I called and I said, look, I'm so sorry. I wanted to be there. I am there with you in spirit. I'm so proud of you. This is amazing that you're doing this, but I can't physically make it to the launch itself because my oven basically blew up. And it didn't catch fire or anything, but there is smoke in the house and I need to figure out what's going on because I have a daughter. We need to consider the safety of our house before I do anything else. And guess what? They may have been bitter at the time, but they understood that I had to put my safety first. I had to make sure everything was taken care of first. And we're still okay. We're still friends. It's fine. So, see where you can manage people's expectations, because you need that kind of freedom in your life. You need not to be pulled in 100 different directions because so many people want so many things from you. And if you can't deliver, tell them you can't deliver. And if there's a possibility of offering them another option, offer another option. Manage people's expectations. It does wonders for your relationships and your communication. Okay? I hope this helped you guys. I love you guys. Bye.